We can discuss today an issue that seems somewhat contradictory, yet is genuinely recorded in the Buddhist scriptures. The question is, why is it that among those who serve the Buddha, some receive an abundance of blessings, a harmonious family, and a successful career, while others, on the contrary, attract disaster and misfortune? Yes, you heard that right. This core contradiction is what we will delve into today. And this is not just baseless talk. This very dilemma was personally presented to the Buddha by his disciples. Ananda, why is there such a huge difference in outcomes? Let's look directly at what the sutra says. The answer to this question is clearly documented in the Sutra on the Buddha's explanation of slow Dharma, or the sutra spoken by the Buddha on despising the Dharma fo shuo man fijing. In this sutra, the Buddha personally explains to us the origin of these two completely different destinies. The very beginning of the sutra directly points out the problem. This statement in itself carries great tension, doesn't it? Serving the Buddha should be the best way to accumulate merits and blessings. How could it possibly lead to misfortune? Fortunately, the Buddha then immediately unveiled the mystery. The Buddha then described in detail the mindsets and actions of these two types of people who serve the Buddha. Their behavior creates a fork in the road, leading them to vastly different endings. Let's look directly at this comparison. The true disciple left the nominal believer right, genuinely seeks the Dharma, and strictly observes the precepts, superficially practices, but is full of doubt, calculation, and even contempt. The mind is utterly pure, wavering, believing one moment, disbelieving the next. All actions aligned with the Dharma, unwilling to diligently maintain the precepts. Result, protected by benevolent deities, receives blessings in this life. Result, benevolent deities departed. Doors open for demons, evil spirits. This highlights the most crucial core point. The scripture tells us this is not a punishment from the Buddha. The Buddha never inflicts disasters. He only ever offers compassionate blessings. The question is, with what kind of heart do we receive these blessings? Is our mind a clean, precious vase, or a container full of holes, perhaps even filled with poison? This negative consequence is entirely self-inflicted. So what is the fundamental crossroads that distinguishes these two paths? Always teachers point us to the same key concept, reverence, or the heart of respect. This is not about external etiquette or how many times you prostrate. It refers to a state of unfeigned, sincere piety emanating from the depths of your heart. Is your every look, every word, every action rooted in this genuine respect? This is the true touchstone. This statement can be called the golden rule of our analysis. You gain 1 part benefit from 1 part reverence. You gain 10 parts benefit from 10 parts reverence. All blessings and wisdom must flow into your heart through the conduit of reverence. Without it, everything you do is just an empty shell. To put it plainly, it all comes down to this. The deciding variable has never been the action itself, but the state of our hearts. This perfectly explains why the results can vary so widely for people who perform the same acts. Burning incense, bowing, chanting, and making offerings. After understanding this core principle, let's look at some practical applications. How wise teachers apply this principle to common, everyday problems. 1. Can a Buddha statue be placed in the bedroom? This is a very common question, especially for those with limited living space. Is it permissible? The teachings are quite clear. The key lies not in external rules, but in your internal intentions. If you regard the Buddha image as a constant reminder to be diligent, an object you wish to see at all times, this intention itself is the highest form of reverence. Conversely, if your heart is full of scattered thoughts and contempt, even if you place the statue in a magnificent shrine, it is merely a decoration. 2. Can we eat the offerings after they are offered to the Buddha? This question often sparks debate. Is consuming the offerings considered stealing from the triple gem? The boundary here is very subtle. The critical point is your motivation. Are you giving out of a spirit of generosity and sharing, or out of petty greed and reluctance to let go? If your mind thinks, "This fruit is expensive," it would be a pity to waste it. That pity conceals attachment and stinginess. This is like taking something belonging to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to satisfy your own desires, which constitutes an offense. 3. Living in a small space with Buddha offerings and statues. This issue truly addresses the practical difficulties many modern people face, living, sleeping, and worshiping all in the same space. Is this disrespectful? The answer? You guessed it. It comes back to our hearts. Remember, the environment is never an excuse. A truly devout person, even if they live in a tiny room, can have a magnificent temple in their heart. This genuine reverence far surpasses a scattered, disrespectful mind in a grand, lavish temple. Conclusion: synthesizing all the discussions above, we arrive at the final conclusion of this analysis. We need to shift our gaze from the external Buddha back to our internal heart. Please remember this most important conclusion. Blessings are never sought externally. They are evoked by the state of our inner mind. The Buddha is like the sun. He shines universally, but whether we can receive the light and how much is entirely determined by whether we open the windows of our own hearts. This power has always been in our own hands. Finally, let us use this question to reflect on ourselves. This question directly echoes the warning given in the sutra. Is our heart a magnificent palace guarded by benevolent deities, or an empty house with an open door, allowing demons to enter freely? This choice lies entirely within our own single thought. I hope today's analysis offers you some inspiration. Thank you.